our model that we would like to work on it. And it's a limited palette, as I mentioned, with just black, white, and the orange. But if you see, we have a different variety of orange. I have actually two. I will bring it to you to show you like this. This orange is more yellowy. This orange is more reddish. So any of them you have would be okay. But the landscape that you see, it's a little more warm. So we can, if you have a red, you can add on this yellowish orange to make it a little bit warm. If you don't have any orange, doesn't matter. So with yellow, like this yellow, any yellow you have, and with the red color, you can mix them together and reach the orange. So it depends how much red, how much yellow you take. Red is more strong, so I recommend to start with yellow. Little by little, add the red with that to see what happens. The surface that we would like to work on it. It can be canvas, it can be paper, or even wood panel. I work on a wood panel. This is the regular wood panel. I buy it from art store. You can add a gesso on it to make it more smooth, but most of them is ready to use if you buy from art store. So I just jump into the surface and work on it. The difference between wood and canvas is wood is so smooth and soft, and canvas has a texture. Other things that we would like to work on it is toilet paper. I don't say you have to have it, but I just would like to let you know that because this is one paper sheet. It's a palette paper, it's a pad. If you buy from art store, it's easy to use. It's just one paper sheet. You can mix your paint here, put your paint here and mix together. And just one sheet, you can put it in a garbage. You don't have to clean it after your painting. And it's so easy because acrylic has glue inside and that glue not clean very well. If you work with oil color, it's okay. Any surface, any palette you have, like wood, like plastic one, it's okay to use that because easily you can clean it. But acrylic is not like that. Acrylic has glue inside, and I recommend to work on this kind of paper or even plastic plate from dollar store. Those are so good as well. Just you need to mix and then put in a garbage. You don't need to clean it and have a hard time with that. The other things we need to have are brushes. So these are the brushes that we need to have. This is the flat brush, and this is round and pointy brush. I recommend the size of brush. It's better to match with the size of the surface you are going to work on it. It's 8 by 10 inch, this actually board. It's 8 by 10. So I compare my brush with my finger. It's a good size. We don't need to first mix the orange color because the orange is come on top. The base, if you see on the landscape, we come from the stance and then move forward. And the stance is more a light light color, which is white. Around it is more grayish color, like here between the tree trunk. And then this nice tree trunk make the jungle more busy. So we start with just the pure paint right now. I'm not mixing these two right now. I just start with the pure paint and I choose this field. Imagine here a little bit. I take this one, or we can cover it. Yeah, we can cover it. No worries. So let me put this aside. I'm going to choose white color first. And start from the center, top to bottom. My wood board is creamy color, so you can easily see the white that I add here. But if it was canvas, it doesn't visible because white on white doesn't show. Take your paint really thick and heavy because it's so easy to cover all the texture of canvas. And it gives you time, easily mix with the other color if you want. So start from center of your canvas, from top to bottom. Just both sides, left and right. You can bring it toward bottom of your canvas as well. Even if it's orange, it's okay. You can cover it with a little bit more white. So we need to more add white around. I don't want to jump into gray right now. And then because acrylic has glue and dries so fast, I choose one side. I choose left side. And when it's wet, I want to bring the grayish color first. Sorry, I have to mix first and then add on a canvas. I take a little bit black and then white, mix them together. It gives me gray color. I recommend to make light gray color, not much dark. That's a good one. And then when you mix this color, sometimes happen the white color get dry. No worries. Again, take white color. Make the surface of the edge a little bit wet because we would like to make it smooth and soft. And then take your grayish color just right beside the edge, bring it, go and back. With this back and forth, you let them mix together, white and this gray. You see very nice transition come here. It's not hard edge. We don't want to have a hard edge. So we need to work on a wet surface. Very gently cover the gray, back and forth from top to bottom, and cover whole your canvas with this nice grayish color. The other difference between wood and canvas is wood absorb a lot. So if you want to work on it, you need to know. You need to premix a lot of paint because it's absorbed. So again, I have to mix again the gray color. And you see how it's easy. I can use all the paint that I mixed with this palette knife, bring it close together here, and then take with my brush, heavy texture, back to my canvas or the surface. I move on to finish the right side, sorry, the left side. With heavy paint, more texture. And don't worry if you use heavy paint, it takes time to dry, but it's okay. Sometimes it can dry by itself. Sometimes you can use hair dryer. You can start from the bottom of your canvas, bring it up, or from the top to the bottom. Both are okay. And even we can add some branches as well to make our trees more interesting. Thick branch from one side, bring it out. From this side, like narrow, pointy, bring it close to the center like that. It's the same as narrow tree. You can use for the branch the tip of your brush. Make different branch like this way, that way, pass from your tree. And do your own creativity for your landscape, add more or less. And when you are close to the white color, make sure not to cover it. Then this part is more busy with this blacky color of trees. And if you see it's really black, when we want to close to the white, we can make dark gray. I just want to make a little bit with the branch busy here. Even from this center, I would like to add a little bit more branch. Like that. And one point about the branches, when it goes further, it gets narrow. When it's connect to the tree trunk, you can make it a little bit thick. Always connection between everything is a little bit thickness, as like that. And yeah, so this is about that. I don't want to jump into white color. I will do that later, and I will show you how we can make it a little bit like fade into the background. I'm going the other side. We have two thick tree. The other side, the rest is just cover around. I would like to start with one line like that, tree, and I prefer not to be really straight. Mine is get straight, it's better not to be. And because I want to divide it into different sections. And the bottom part, I try to make it a little bit more fat and thicker. Like this. And then from middle, I try to divide it into different sections like this. To shape here when it's divided, a little bit thick from this side. And then it's not really narrow branch, so I make the other one a little thick as well. So a little bit come higher and divide into another section like that. Lots of it hide under the leaves, but we need to make it interesting first, and then we add the leaves on top like that. So this is one tree, and in between you can add a lot of narrow branches for that. I will do that later after I add more trees on it. And then the other one starts from this bottom part, come up a little bit. And I'm not using any water, if you see. I try to use just the paint and the brush. Sometimes dry brush stroke happen. You see here a little bit come out, but it's dry. That's nice technique. So I don't want to have a perfect clean line in nature. If it's okay, we can do some creativity. And then some narrow in between. Just feel free to add as much as tree trunk you want. thick and narrow. But make sure the one which is close to the edge is better to be more dark, because we want to show it's close to us. The one which is go through center, we want to show depth, so it's supposed to be lighter and a little bit narrow. I don't bother myself to bring it close to the edge of canvas because I will cover it with the orange color. And now, as much as 3 I am going to add, I don't want to make this part dark. I don't want to have it be visible a lots of grayish colors. So do like that. Even if you are not doing with the tree, we can do some technique. Make a dry brush stroke. So take your paint with your brush, just practice here. It helps less paint in your brush. Then from top to bottom, do something like that. It makes this part a little bit busy with the dark color, but it's dry brush stroke. I can do it here, you see? It's a dry brush stroke. It's not really hard color. Just like that. It's a nice practice if you want to do. And make in between your trees the best technique, dry brush, to make it a little bit dark, especially the top part. Less paint and just cover it. It doesn't need to be perfect like this. I cover it with dark color, but dry brush. If I show you dry brush, it's like here. You see, it's very less paint. Just a little bit grayish color because of less paint. Then you can handle it everywhere you like. It makes between your trees be a little bit color. It's not cover completely your grayish color, but it makes it busy with darkness. So let me add more narrow one in between, or even branches. I forgot the branches, narrow branches. Bring it to the white color. Make it thick when it's connected to the trees, pointy and narrow when it comes up to the sky. Even can go like that. If it's hard for you to do it the flat brush, you can do it with round and pointy brush, even the narrow line. I'm not comfortable with this pointy brush to make the narrow long line. Because of that, I can do it, but I recommend if you are not comfortable, flat brush, it's more easy to do. Make the narrow line. Anywhere you like. It's a jungle, so we need to make it busy with more trees. And this time I recommend to add a little bit drop of water in your brush. Make your brush a little wet, be like watercolor. You see here this gray watery, it's just a black in my brush, and I add the water into that, make it runny. Not much, but a little bit. From top to bottom, I try to bring it like this. This is another technique. You see, it's a watery brush stroke, same as watercolor. When you do like that, it shows a little darkness in your white color, but it's not hard because of the water that your brush has. After it gets dry, even when you do it just a black color, I just add a black with water. After it dry completely, it's fade. It goes to background. Very gently add the watery brush stroke like that. You see how much light color come close to this dark black? Randomly do watery brush like that to make a little bit depth for it. Back and forth. Just that. I don't want to cover the white one a lot. Take black, water, make it like this runny. Both sides of your trees, left and right. Try to add this brush stroke and then from top to a little bit bottom. After you make that, a little wait, because it has a water inside, it's dry fast. And then I would like to do a narrow trees on this part. So I'm happy with it. I don't want to make it busy. And I think it's dry. Then I would like to go with just without any water, just the paint, some narrow tree like this. Even because if your canvas be wet and if it's a little bit mixed together, get not much hard, it's fine. Just because we want to show depth. And it's okay, it doesn't need to be really hard edge with a tree. Even you can add a little bit branch like this randomly. Just add, make it busy with the line, just narrow line on both sides. It doesn't need from top to bottom. I can come from center even like that. Leave it be fade. And even you can add a little branch for it randomly. You see, just add randomly the line to make it easy. And this help goes to the depth on a tree, on a jungle, sorry. And I think one watery stroke, I need to bring it on the center like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Sometimes if it's challenging for you, the drawing, you can let it dry completely everything with a pencil. Draw the animal on your canvas and then color it by black color. This is easy as well. So, but if you want to do it with just a brush with me, take your black with a small and pointy brush. We start, if you see, if I make it big, this side of the body, it's a tiny head. It's this side a little bit gentle curvy. This part, it's just big long neck and then the back like that. And then the ears. So I try to place it on this part. Start from top. At this point for the top, at this point, for example, for the bottom part, and then check if it's okay or no. I think it's a bit better to be grow. I bring it higher. If you do with the pencil, it's easier, I think. You can draw it with pencil first and then color it. So this part of the face, very gently, a little nice curve with just a pure black. Now we don't add any water for this, just a pure black. Gentle, tiny C curve, and then bring it down a little bit, shape it like this way, come out. If you do a lot, like me, I did a lot of shape here. It's okay. Always we can fix back and forth. So don't worry about the paint. You can do like eraser. I have a white color with another brush. Fix the edge. So always we can do fix. We have eraser in our painting too. Just thick white color. Very gently try to do fix the edge. You see, I can fix it with another brush. At the same time, take black. The other side of the head, a C curve. I can add a tone on this part, and you can see both sides has a nice curvy shape. Here and here. Then a big curve come like that. I can fill inside a little more. Another big curve here. Then this part of the body come down tiny bit, and then again come down and let it disappear. And I try to fill inside with just the black. I don't want to have just a flat line here on the bottom part because it's not visible for me to fit, but randomly do like this. You see, it's here like that. It's fade to the orangey color, just like that. Let it not cut. Move it like that. Now we do with the body. Any part you feel you're not happy with, bring back the white color. I can show you again. Pick white color. I would like to make this neck a little bit come inside, very gently close to that part and fix the shape. Very gently. You can do always back and forth. Even this part of the neck, always you can fix it. Even the body like that. But it's better to be a little dry brush stroke, not watery. Watery is just for depth, for the one that we want to make it a little bit move to background. So, and even for the fit, when you bring the brush stroke down, it shows like a dry brush stroke. The white is visible in between. That's perfect. Then I move on top to add the ears. A little bit curvy on the face. Now, the ears is one here, straight line on top, and then shape it like a leaf, like that. Or even you can add a little gentle C curve on the top as well. The other side is the same. A little bit narrow C curve and then make it look like a leaf. Even with brush, you can draw it look like a pencil. With the tip of brush. If you see the head is a little small, then you can add more on the back. So, start like a branches, like here, narrow, bring it down, a little bit curvy, then back to the head. Make sure to have a space between the ears and these antlers. And then it divides into different sections again, same as branch. With the pointy part of your brush, start from here connected. If your brush with just the paint move hardly, a tiny touch of water would be helpful, but a tiny touch. We have a little bit here, line. We have a narrow little bit here. It's so pointy and narrow. And then when you come close to the head, it's look like this way. When you do for both, it looks like the bottom part of the heart, or the hand, it's connect like this tiny connection. And the other side, start from one line here, slowly. When you have slowly drawing, it's easier and helpful to fix the shape. And no worries if you add thick line, if you don't happy with the line, if even you don't happy with the curve part, with the other brush and white color, you can fix it. I do some thickness here to show you how you can fix it. With the other brush, clean it, just the white color. Try to add a narrow line and gentle to fix this thickness. And then draw this tiny base of the heart. Details look like painting or drawing miniature, so it's more slow we need to be, and tip of brush, so helpful. This part, and then make this part a little bit thicker with the other brush, like that. So then you can back and see if you're happy with the thickness, if you're happy with the shape. If not, you can again take your paint and fix it. Now we finish our Prince of the Jungle. So if you have the orange, like this orange I show you, you don't need to mix anything. Just jump to the orange. If you don't have it and you want to mix your paint and make the orange, you need red and yellow. As I mentioned, yellow, it's better to be warm. I finished actually my cat yellow, but I use lemon yellow. Lemon yellow is more transparent and it's not easy to fix it. But anyway, take your yellow. Please add more yellow. Just a touch of red, because red is so strong. So always you can fix the color you're interested. But if you take a lot of red, the value is changed. It's not easy to change the orange. You see? With a tiny touch of red, we make the nice and orange color. So with this way, you can make the orange. Lots of yellow, tiny red. And then you see you are happy with the orange, or you need to add more red into that. Little by little, please add the red, because red, like black, it's so strong. Can change the value so fast. Remix like that. There is two ways to make this beautiful landscape. We can do with brush, we can do with palette knife. I can show you both. Take your brush. I can take same brush that I use for my landscape. It's okay to use that one too. Clean it because it has dark color inside. So take the orange, heavy paint, it's on top. So you can make the texture on top. And after it takes dry to get completely dry, it takes time. After it's completely dry, then when you touch it, you can feel this texture. I recommend take more paint and take your brush like this way. It's easier to follow this way. You can start from top to bottom. Sorry, from bottom to top. And if you want to see, let me show you what's this. If you want to see this stroke, these are brush stroke happen like that. It's fade to the stems. And if you want to happen like this, Please not add any water. Take heavy paint like that. Start from bottom part. Just bring it up. When I bring this painting close to camera, you can see this nice and dry brush stroke. You don't need to bring it higher. This one's supposed to be lower. The center is more higher, and here. You can randomly start from anywhere. Take heavy paint. And if you see this hard brush stroke, the lining stroke would be great. And a little bit of space. I don't want to come through this white part. A little space. Then bring it higher. Heavy paint again. You can bring it lower or higher and play with your grass. Heavy paint. You see how much texture I take, how much paint I take. Here supposed to be a little bit higher. It's interesting to have high or low. I bring it higher. Oops, what's this? And here lower a little bit. And a little bit here. Anytime you feel you're happy with your grass, just not overwork on it. Just leave it get dry. Because sometimes we do overwork and it's not good. So then clean this edge. And you see sometimes you see a little bit this dark color under it. Would be so good and natural because we're supposed to see those. We don't need to cover all with the orange. So now I would like to show you how you can make the beautiful leaves on top, like this way. So we have two ways. Again, you can back to your brush. Let me clean it. Suppose not to have any water. Even if you like to have water in your painting, in your acrylic paint, you need to do it on the first layers, not on the last one. This is the last part of the painting. So take heavy paint like that. Take your brush like this way. It's easier to move on like vertically. Sorry, horizontally. Like this. Add thick paint randomly like this way. Some part it need to be a little bit thicker, some less. Heavy paint. I recommend to make a texture on it. Let it sit on top. Don't blend it a lot. Some part it's okay to be like that. Fade it into the background. It's not fade actually. It's get like a dry brush stroke. Some part it's interesting to be really thick. So if it's thick like that, don't back and forth on it. Let me sit like this. Help it be visible. And just a little bit of space in between. We're supposed to see tree trunk in between. Wave at this stroke, make it like that. Bring it a little bit toward top. A little bit here down, low, or add some brush stroke like this way. You see here, you can see like a black color under it. It looks like dry brush stroke techniques. So bring it close to the center. We need to keep some space and then add another one. Sometimes I go with the less paint to make this movement as a brush stroke. It's called dry brush stroke. And some part I make it thick paint. For dry brush stroke, you can hear the sound. You see the sound? You can hear that. And we need this one. This is with the brush. You can have the same technique with the palette knife. if you like to know about it. With one side of palette knife, take your paint with one side and then start adding on your canvas. One side, try to shape it very gently, sit on your canvas. Like that, even like this, heavy paint. Sit one side, move it. If you want to have a texture, let it have a texture, not faded. If you want to have a dry brush stroke, just pressure your palette knife and do like this. It happened with dry brush stroke technique. It's the same as brush. So if you're interested for palette knife, I am going back to my brush. Take heavy paint, help it set. If you work like me with heavy paint, it takes time to get dry. Be careful not to touch the surface. Let it relax your painting for half an hour. It depends on the texture. Most of the time, half an hour would be okay. So for this part, I just move like that a little bit here. Don't want to busy, just a space, less leaf here. Just play with my leaves. I don't want to make it busy a lot. And when I'm close to the white part, I don't add heavy paint. I bring dry brush stroke. You see, a little gently, less pressure. Try to just play with my brush to make it dry stroke. Like that. And it's okay, I don't want to make it busy a lot. You see? Like our painting here. See? So this is the last part of our painting. Please do that and enjoy it. It's a lovely part.